Yo, what up, Grabby Saibdi here. This is a video response to Loki Lauki, who asked, "Hey Bricks, can you please make a video on how to use the auto forge feature of RSL Helper?" If you do not know what that is, that's the PC software that players of Raid Shadow Legends use to boost their playing experience. Quality of life improvements are applied to this software. It's a third-party software, not official by Raid, but it's not going to get your account banned or anything. So if you do not know what it is, I will recommend you do check out this other video that says 13 uses of RSL Helper, where I detailed a bunch of more things you can do with this single software. But I wanted to do a video response to this one because sometimes the menus and the some tips, there's one thing that is stopping you from using the auto forge in RSL Helper. Even if you use the software already, you might have issues with that until you do this one thing. So let me head into the video and let's talk about it. Alright, the first thing you want to do with RSL Helper when you launch it is to run one battle. As you can see right here, you can see I did do a 12-3 battle with getting my reward right here from the campaign, just to make sure the software syncs up with my game. It grabs all your data from your game, at least all your game data, and puts it into the software so you can know what you have and what you don't have. So that's one way to make sure it syncs. Run one battle first before you experience any issues. Now, for the auto forge, you always want to do it. I always add little tips for newer players coming into the game. Auto forge is best to do this during clan versus clan with personal rewards or without personal rewards. That's the best time to do your auto forging. It's the best time to go around and clean out everything, except you hit the clan versus clan tournament required points, then you can stop auto forging. But this is one free way of getting some clan versus clan tournament points or some free silver, because you end up selling a bunch of these items you get right here. They don't always give you good items, but sometimes you get that small chance, 5%, 2%, 10% chance of getting some amazing game-changing artifact. The last time there was CVC with personal rewards, I did come in here, check out my lethal, and I forged everything, all 5 and 6 star. That's another tip for the newer players. I always forge 5 and 6 star. If I forge this, I'm most likely going to sell 99.9% of everything I forge from 4 to 5 stars. So I do not normally forge them, especially do not use them for rank and rarity. I don't care whether you're 1 week old, 2 weeks old, even super early game. I don't usually use my rank and rarity on 4 to 5 star, except you don't mind it, you have other ways of getting it. And super early game, you always want to forge perception. Just little tips and tricks right there for newer players. Let's talk into the RSL Helper and see how to usually use it to forge. When you launch the software and your game is open, if you come into the forge screen right here, you can see that the RSL Helper has already selected this forge active button for us. I did not click it myself, it did. So if you check your game, you're in the forge but you did not select it, you can turn it off, you can turn it on. So make sure it's turned on. This this forge is active. That's the first tip, that if you do not run your campaign battle first or any dungeon battle, it might not sync with your game, and this might not automatically turn on when you come into the forge. All right, the next thing that is totally optional, this one is super optional, and I recommend as an end game player, please do not use the auto sell, especially if you don't know what the sell file says, what the sell file rules says. What is a sell file? Is a bunch of rules that is set to that tell this game what to sell, what to keep, what to sell, what to keep, what to sell. It's a lot of rules. So you might not have the time to create one by yourself. You might not have the time to comb through one you got from other sources and you just put it into your game. You might be selling good artifacts. So there are times when I forge without the sell files. There are times when I do I do dungeon farming without the sell files. That will give you a bunch of work yet. To give you more work, because all the artifacts you forge or farm will be seeping into your storage, and you have to manually come here and claim them one by one. If you can find artifacts, I can't find artifacts. Well, you have to come in here manually and claim them. These are CVC tournament points that seeped into the inbox. So if you forge without them, it's not the end of the world. If you forge without the auto sell, the artifacts will still come here. You can claim them by yourself. At least that gives you an option to now comb through and begin to use the filtering options to find what is good and what is bad. That's one mistake that a lot of players make when forging. You end up coming back to your forge and everything is sold because you use an end game sell files that is not in line with your account. Always comb through the sell files or turn it off and manually sell your artifacts later, which is more work, I know, but at least you take some to 4 and 8 for artifact enhancement points. So what is the best thing to forge? Perception, lethal. I already stated that that's the two I normally forge right here. That's why the other one seems like there is a lot of them right here, but there is a day when I will come in here and forge everything from fatal. Even if I know I'm not going to use one single fatal artifact on anybody, I come in here and forge everything, but I will sell all of them. So the forge is also going to give you some silver or untouchable. All this one will be sold most likely if I don't get some good legendary one with good substat rolls when I roll them up. All right, now let's head into the first demonstration I'll do about this auto sell. Resilience is one I forged about 500 of them during this last CVC with personal rewards. I do not want to use resilience on any particular champion on my account, right? So I'm not going to spend rank and rarity charms on it. No. I'll save my rank and rarity charms, especially if you don't have a lot of them, on perception, on lethal, or on bolster, those type of sets, end game sets that you need a lot of, right? So that's the one I usually save my rank and rarity charm for. Even my substat charm, I save that for those end game sets. So that's the for resilience. I don't want to use it on anybody, so I'm not going to even turn on rank and rarity charms. So as a demonstration, let's head to the RSL Helper, close this auto sell files. Now, since this is an artifact set that I want to sell right off the bat, just like I'm farming campaign where I sell everything from the campaign, right? I will turn on auto sell for this one. And one thing that will make you not be able to forge, if I move this to the side, you can see that now everything is set. I'm ready to go. I've turned out everything. So if I hit the forge right here, nothing happens. You can see it's even rolling. It's rolling, but nothing is happening. It's not forging. It feels like it's forging, but it's not. The game is just sitting there waiting for something to happen. So this is one thing that most players find, that when they try to forge, nothing happens. So the same thing happens for the dungeons too. Whenever you go to the dungeon, you put in your number, your auto sell, everything, you run dragon, and it just runs one battle and stops. The only thing that makes that happen, or the only thing that will solve that problem for you, is this number of runs at the top. So I guess this video should have been a 1-minute video, and I say at the top right here that just put number of runs and your forging is done. But I just had to add these little tips for newer players downloading the software for the first time, so you have it's complicated. It's still a bunch of menus and all that. It's not that complicated. Just type in number of runs. In this case, I want to do 10 forging of resilience, and I want to auto sell all 10. If there is a good one found, it will not auto sell. I stopped the first one. Let me start it again now. Now, as you can see, something's happening in the screen. If I check in the background, you can see red is doing its thing now. The RSL Helper is clicking the buttons for me, hitting the cell for me. It's after checking that it's a bad artifact, it hits the cell. So that's the first demonstration of how to use the forge with resilience in this case, and using auto sell files that I've downloaded also from the Fabstops official Discord channel. So go check out the Fabstops if you want to download the software for yourself. Just type in RSL Helper on Google, you'll find the download link or their Discord channel to join. Or you can message me on Discord. I can't put a link. I guess I can put a link in the description of this video so you can see the Fabstops official Discord channel to join and get the software for yourself. So that's the resilience all forged. After the 10 forging, it just stops, right? It stops. So the next one I'm going to forge as a demonstration is going to be perception. But in this case, I want to use rank, rarity, sometimes mythical, sometimes not. I usually save my mythicals for damage sets, but sometimes you want good perception sets to begin to go to mythical ranges so you can get good stats on them, right? So speed is one thing that you might want to forge if you don't have good speed sets. Sometimes perception gives you better speed than speed sets sometimes. So because you get a lot of perception, you don't get a lot of speed set. So that's one thing I usually forge right here. Or accuracy, if you're still looking for accuracy, substat, double rolls, triple rolls in your perception set. That's two things you can't go wrong with. So in this case, this demonstration, I will be trying out speed and also do 10 auto forging. You could just hit the 10 right here. The difference between you doing it yourself and using the RSL Helper to do it for you is because you can just relax, take a stroll, walk out, come back, and everything is forged. Now, if you had, like I do right now, 743 to forge, I can't sit here and click and sell. It's a lot of time consuming thing. That's something that Rates needs to take a look at. I know crafting 1 was a thing. Crafting 10 at the same time was also an improvement to make it faster for you. So even if you're crafting 1000, you have to only click what, 100 times. So I think it's time to do it where you can just select the number of crafting you want to do and hit it. That's the next quality of life improvement that will make, especially for mobile players who can't use this third-party software, who don't have access to this software. It's something that Raid could just let us type the number of crafts we want to do, put in all our parameters and hit craft. Let everything go to the inbox, especially if you have enough space and all that. That's something that should really work on, because mobile players who have to sit here and craft 1 and wait and craft 10 and wait, it's very time consuming. So in this case, I'm going to sell this one. That's how you do it manually. All right, let me go to the auto forge right now and turn off the auto sell. I'm forging perception. I want to manually look at all the artifacts by myself. I don't want it to auto sell for me. It will go to my inbox. It will go to my artifact storage, no problem. I still turn on the forge active. In this case, I want only 5 forging because I don't want to do too many when CVC with personal rewards is not going on, right? I want to save my magic seals for CVC with personal rewards. All right, just for this demonstration of 5, let's go. Auto sell is off, so nothing will be sold this time around. It will forge 1, 2, give me mythicals, give me 5-star, 3, no mythicals, 4, the chances are slim. I'm not even getting legendaries. 5, that's it. So I think that's the only thing I needed to share right here in this video to let you know how to use this auto forge feature in RSL Helper. Whether you're forging resilience, whether you're using rank and rarity charms, the trick right here is just typing the number of runs, which a lot of players get wrong. Same thing applies if you're running dungeons. Usually I find if I don't type number of runs, it doesn't, start doing it automatically for me. I know there is one that says run infinitely. That might be something that might work. Let me see. Auto forge is on. If I say run infinitely, I don't need to turn the number of runs on. Maybe switch back to resilience. Let me see if that works. I've never really used this run infinitely because I want to run it to a particular number. I don't want everything to be forged, right? So let me try it, see if that works. It doesn't. So I guess the only one that works is this run effective resources. How about that one? Does it work? Stop and start. Nope. So some say run effective resources or run infinitely works in campaign. It works in dungeons, but I find typing the number of runs every time works for me, and that's one tip that most players who try to use these 2 features either in the dungeons or in the forge get it wrong if you don't type the number of runs. 1,000, 10,000 runs, and go to bed and wake up and all your gems are gone. That's one mistake that also most players make. Do not leave this auto refill on if you're running dungeons, and you put in 1,000 runs, you just finish your entire gem count because it will keep running dungeon till you wake up. All right, that's the RSL Helper forging technique that I use personally on my account. If you do it any differently, let me know in the comments so I can also learn from you. If I got anything wrong in this video, always correct me also. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Low-key. That's the video on how to auto forge with RSL Helper. Like, subscribe for more daily Raid Shadow Legends content. If you have any other Raid related questions, leave them in the comments or join the Discord and ask there. Share your screenshots and all that good stuff. Later, guys.